Okay, we are live. What is good, everybody? It is the Godfather of VR, the ageless one of the man, Lincoln Clay, and we are live on Gran Turismo 7, almost say Grand Theft Auto 5. Goddamn. And, oh, you know what? I meant to put podcast in the title. Oh, my God. Damn, because I wanted everybody to know that this is a podcast. For the most part, I'm probably not going to race.
How could you clickbait everybody like that?
Yeah, if I'm going to clickbait people, I got to do it right. So, this is more or less going to be a podcast. I mean, I thought about doing this with Live from Wakanda, but since this is a podcast relative to the PS5, I thought it was only befitting that I should have basically a PS5 game running in the background. So let's do Escape, and then we'll get into it here. We got to change cars. That just don't look right. Seeing a race car in a civilian setting. Let's get a car that looks the part. But yes, you read the title right. This is a podcast, and I'm not racing today, and there's kind of a reason for that. Let's see here. You might hear my son in the background. Yeah, I think we can put this car on Escape. Yeah. That looks more like an exotic sports car than a full-blown race car. Okay. So, this is a podcast. I do not plan on racing today. For one thing, because starting with this game really quick, it's just hard for me to stay invested in this game. You guys heard me say it ad nauseum. One of the reasons why I don't put a lot of time into this game is because it doesn't have VR support, and it appears that we're not going to get it until next year. And then the other thing is Polyphony Digital keeps messing around with this game with the updates. So honestly, the only time I really get interested in playing this game is when there's a new daily race, which happens every Monday. So as far as this game goes, that's probably when I'll race again when the new daily race comes out. So there's that. So as far as the title goes, yes, you guys read that right. The PS5 will likely be my last console. Things are happening with the flat screen side that I don't see any point in buying a PS5 Pro. It would be a total waste of money, especially when it doesn't matter how much power the PS5 Pro has over the PS5. In all likelihood, other than some visual enhancements, the PS5 Pro would be held back by the PS5 the same way the PS4 Pro was held back by the PS4. Because in all likelihood, Sony will mandate that anything that's being developed for the PS5 Pro must include the PS4 as well. And with me having two PCs that basically blow the PS5 out of the water, both of my PCs, even my gaming PC, not my gaming PC, my streaming PC, I just recently upgraded it a few days ago and put a 3070 Ti in there. So that's in my streaming PC, and then my main PC has a 3080 Ti in it, and with you know all the bells and whistles. Both of my PCs are beast. So um, in terms of spec, PS5 doesn't hold a candle to either one of my PCs. So it would be and it would be a total waste of money for me to buy a PS5 Pro. So you combine the fact that my PCs blow the PS5 out of the water, and then the fact that the PS5 Pro would be held back by the PS5. Um, so naturally we know that Sony had the state of play, and I think I can stay there. Solar, what's good? How you doing, my guy? What's up?
What's up?
So we had the state of play. I think all in all, it was a good show. But as far as the VR side of it goes, I think it was a good show, but I was not impressed with it because what they showed us as far as VR goes is stuff. It is stuff that we already have on PC. It is stuff that is probably coming to PC. And so forth. So I think they showed 4 games. I think they showed Resident Evil Village. They showed the Resident Evil 4 remake, but said that VR content is being developed for it. And to me, that's too wide open of a statement, because that doesn't tell us whether the whole game is going to be in VR or is this just going to be an experience that's added to the game. If it's an experience that's added to the game, that's going to say a lot about the console, because I'm beginning to wonder. I'm not so sure. As good as that Resident Evil 4 remake looked, I am not so certain that the PS5 is going to be able to run a game that looks that good, flat screen, and still have enough resources to run it in VR and still make it look that good in VR. I think that's asking a lot. That would even be asking a lot of a PC that's got a 3090 Ti in it. I mean, as it stands, these mods that we're getting on PC, like the Resident Evil 7 and Resident Evil 8 VR mods that we just recently got, you still need a pretty beefy PC to run those and make it look good. And I think the one VR mod that's out there that is like really demanding is the Cyberpunk mod. I mean, even with a 3090, you still have to turn the settings down to medium or low to still get a good performance out of it. So that being said, I might have a hard time believing that Resident Evil 4 remake is going to look that good flat screen and still have enough resources left to make it look that good in VR as well if it gets the VR support. So I'm a little apprehensive about them using that statement of VR content instead of saying VR support. But we'll see when it comes out. So anyway, getting back to the games they showed, we have Horizon Call of the Mountain, Resident Evil Village, the Resident Evil 4 remake, Saints and Sinners Chapter 2, and No Man's Sky. Out of the 5 games that they showed in VR, only Horizon Call of the Mountain was the only one that they said was a PSVR 2 exclusive. So that to me tells me that the rest of that stuff is going to go to PC VR. And I would say that between PlayStation VR 2 and the current headsets that I have, I would probably say that the biggest edge that PlayStation VR 2 is going to have over the headsets that I currently have is that the headset supports HDR. So that can make a big difference on how good games look. So I don't doubt how good games are going to look on PSVR. But I don't know. We'll have to see. So, and with Horizon Call of the Mountain, real quick, it's a different take on the Horizon franchise. But in terms of its VR execution, it's nothing that we haven't seen before. giant creatures moving around. We've seen that in VR before. And as far as your character model goes, you got floating hands. I mean, how many VR games have we seen on PC that's got floating hands? So honestly, so Horizon Call of the Mountain, VR wise, isn't going to do anything that we haven't already seen before. It's just what separates this from the other games is it's just another chapter in the Horizon franchise. So that's about it. So with that being said, it's now that I've had time to get over, let everything sink in as far as the state of play goes. Horizon Call of the Mountain, I could take it or leave it day one. I guess we'll see. I mean, in all likelihood, I'll probably get it day one. But unfortunately, knowing me, I can admit that there would be a strong chance that I would get this game and maybe not even finish it. So now let's. I mean that is part of the reason the stuff that I'm describing. That's part of the reason why I said that the PS5 will be my last console because let's start with let's jump over to the flat screen side. Sony is making it more apparent that they are moving in the PC direction. We know that Sony set Twitter on fire by announcing that Spider-Man is going to PC. And on Twitter, I've been seeing people grabbing quotes from Insomniac saying that Spider-Man would never go to any other platform except PS4 and yada, yada, yada. And now it's going to PC. Will I buy it? I don't know. Because I'll say this. Spider-Man on PS4 Pro, I didn't exactly play it. I started out playing it, but then the majority of it, I watched my son play it. And I think my son got through about 67% of it, and I pretty much just watched him play. But that was the original game that came out. When they gave it that new coat of paint, when they redid how Peter Parker looks and make him look more like Tom Holland, I didn't play it. So in a sense, I really have not played Spider-Man, and so I could conceivably buy it on PC. I don't know. I want to buy God of War on PC, but it doesn't make any sense being that I already finished the game. It doesn't make any sense for me to buy it on PC because all I would do, honestly speaking, is I would buy it, take a look at it for 5 minutes, and that would be it. And now I've used up about 80 gigs of my data cap just to look at a game for 5 minutes. So I got to be smart about that too, because I went over my data cap a couple of times and ended up getting hit with like $80 in overcharges, in overages from going over my data cap. So you guys heard me talk about, how much money I got into these PCs. And I've got about $5,000 into both of my PCs. And then, Microsoft, we already know the situation with them because they put everything on PC. I just really don't see any point in buying an Xbox whatsoever. I don't see any point in buying any of their Xboxes, the S, the Series S, the Series X, whatever. If somebody were to get a Series X, I could understand it from the standpoint of if you want PC power without the PC price tag. I could even, same thing goes for the PS5. I could understand if they were to go that route. The Xbox Series S, the only way I could understand somebody buying that console is if it is the first time they ever bought a console and they didn't want to spend a lot of money for the console. At that point, if somebody were to consult me and say, hey, I'm getting ready to jump into gaming for the first time and I'm thinking about getting this Xbox Series S, what do you think? I would tell them to spend the extra $100 and get the PlayStation Digital because you're still getting the same amount of power as the disc PS5. It's just you're saving $100 because it doesn't have a disc drive, but at the end of the day, you would end up giving Sony all that money back, because now, because you got an all digital console, you are paying whatever prices are listed at that store. Whereas if you got the disc drive, you have multiple means to get a physical disc, and places like Walmart and Target and Best Buy are always having sales on games. So, but yeah, if somebody were to get a Xbox Series S because it's their first console, I wouldn't knock them for it. So I don't think that I don't. Jeez, I don't think there's going to be a whole lot for me to say. I mean, so looking at the situation with my PS5, right now I haven't gotten my money's worth out of it. As far as it doesn't have VR. Me not getting my money's worth out of the PS5 right now, that was to be expected. Already knew that I was not going to get my money's worth out of the PS5 until they finally, until PSVR 2 finally comes along, being that that's the reason why I bought the PS5 in the first place. But right now, no, I haven't gotten my money's worth out of this console. And I would tell you right now that if it weren't for the chip shortages, I would have strongly considered selling this PS5 and then just get a new one when PSVR 2 comes out. But I gotta hang on to it because the PS5 is going to be continue to be a hard console to get, and hell, I mean that the PSVR 2 I think is going to be hard to get as well. So, but still, it doesn't change the fact that I don't feel like I've gotten my money's worth out of the console so far. I think I haven't bought a ton of games for this console, and the games that I have bought, the only ones that as far as the campaigns goes, the only ones that I finished was Call of Duty Cold War, and I had to force myself to finish that one, and I finished Ratchet and Clank. So, Ratchet and Clank was the only game that I bought for the PS5 that I was really excited to check it out, because it is a very beautiful game, no question about that. And it's a game that I wanted to finish. I wanted to play the entire story. So that's it, And I think after I finished the campaign on Call of Duty Cold War, I played the multiplayer a couple of times, but that's about it. I'm not a big fan of the Call of Duty multiplayer to begin with. Although, if it gets VR support for PSVR 2, that would be huge. So, but yeah, I mean, the bottom line is, it looks like Sony is starting to make that move and bring their games to PC. And while people are still using the logic that Sony is sending old games to PC, that's fine. Because some of those games I have not played yet, like Death Stranding, I haven't played that. Days Gone, I bought it, but I only got like 2 hours into it, because what ended up putting me off about that game was I ended up watching Sick Humor play it. I ended up watching his streams, and I ended up watching him play through about 75% of the story. So since I kind of got an idea how the game ended, I haven't really been interested in revisiting the game. But I don't know. I could conceivably buy that game on PC. So yeah, I mean, like, even though they started to move putting old games on there, I think as time goes on, instead of putting 4-year-old games on there, I think they might eventually move up to the point where they're putting 2-year-old games on there, 1-year-old games on there, hell, maybe even 6-month-old games. So that's one reason why I think the PS5 will be my last console. And I think the other reason why the PS5 will probably be my last console is because of PlayStation VR 2, because I think that in addition to a lot of the third-party games that's going to be on PlayStation VR 2, they either, they're going to be at PC at some point. Whether the game originally started out on PC and got ported over to the PlayStation VR 2 or vice versa, at some point the game is going to be on PC. And now, because of the way Sony has been moving lately, with them moving some of their blockbuster titles over to PC, I would not be surprised if Horizon Call of the Mountain, this game that's supposed to be the flagship VR title for PSVR 2, and the game that's going to get this headset off the ground, I wouldn't be surprised if at some point that comes to PC too. I think it could take 3 or 4 years, but I think it could happen. Because if this game, if it's a campaign, it's going to be a one and done game. So this game will probably, I think the game will probably last for a couple of years before it starts to die out. And I think once it starts to die out, then that's when I think Sony will start looking into possibly sending Horizon Call of the Mountain to PC. So the way Sony is moving right now, no game is safe. I don't think there's any game. The only game right now, the way Sony's moving, I think this game right here is the only game that might not ever go to PC. But now, now it's like never say never. But out of all the games that's come out on the PS5 since it launched, I think this one is the one that's the least likely to go to PC. Where if it did go to PC, it would be huge, because they could command a lot of the PC market if they did put this game on PC. Because as far as racing games go on PC, the market belongs to iRacing and a set of Corsa Competizione. I think this Ren Sport, when it comes along, it could make some waves, but I think as far as PC goes, when Kunos comes out with a set of Corsa 2, and they're developing their own engine for this game, I think it could very well be the best looking game. I think it's possible it could be the best looking game on any platform, and I think it's going to be king of the PC Sims when it comes out. So yeah, that's about it. I don't think I got much more to say. I mean, I feel like I got a lot more to say, but I can't really think of anything else in that. I mean, that's what it comes down to. The flat screen games, Sony's already showing that they're moving in that direction of putting their flat screen games on PC, and I think that I think the same might happen with the PC VR, with the PlayStation VR games. Matter of fact, once PlayStation VR 2 hits, don't be surprised if you see some of the current games that's on PlayStation VR go to PC. And I speak of games like Blood and Truth. Don't be surprised if that goes to PC. Because it's a single player game. I don't think Firewall would ever go to PC, because that's an online game and it makes use of the aim controller. So I don't think that would work on PC unless they specially formatted it for PC and kept the community separate. But yeah, I can see a game like I can see Blood and Truth going to PC, and I can even see Iron Man VR going to PC. I don't think it'll happen for a couple of years, because I think it won't happen until PlayStation VR 2 is in full swing and PSVR is officially dead. But I think those games could end up going to PC too. So, so all that being said, if you're a person that doesn't feel like you got to have all the newest games day and date, I'm starting to feel like, I'm not that far away from saying, do you actually need a PS5? In fact, I was in the spaces, and then there's the money side of it. I was just in the spaces with my boy Josh, and they were talking about, about PSN to PC, and people talk about how the cost of getting into PC gaming, how expensive it is, and I chimed in and said, the initial cost to get through the door is expensive because of what you're paying for the PC, but over the long haul, you'll end up saving more money gaming on PC than you would on console gaming, because the games are going to be cheaper on PC, and you have numerous means of getting games on PC. You have Steam, you have the Epic Store, you have GOG, and then you can buy codes through like G2A, Humble Bumble, CD Keys. So I've gotten so many PC games for so cheap. I might look at the PlayStation Store and see that a game still costs $50, and then I'll go on G2A and I can get the game for $20. So I save myself $30. So the games are cheaper on PC, and then there's the subscription thing, PlayStation Plus or Xbox Live. So I'll say the same thing that I said to Josh in his spaces. The PS5 and the Xbox Series X, I think they have power this equivalent to an RTX 2060, maybe even a 2070, but I think more so a 2060. In order for you to build a PC, in my opinion, that can do what the PlayStation 5 can do, I think it would cost you anywhere from $800 to $1,200, and so let's just say $1,200. Well, if you decide, let's say you were to go, let's say Microsoft keeps their games exclusive on the Xbox platform. So that would give you a reason to buy an Xbox. So you would spend $500 for an Xbox Series X, and you would spend to play their exclusives, and you would spend $500 for a PS5 to play their exclusives, and then you would spend $60 a piece per year for the prescriptions. You would spend $60 a year for PlayStation Plus, $60 a year for Xbox Live. That's $120. Now, if you bought both of those consoles, you've already spent $1,000. You've already spent the cost of the PCs, and then you're spending $120 a year for the subscriptions for just to be able to play online, and then at least the AAA games, they cost the same at launch. It's $70 on PC. It'll be $70 on console. But the prices drop faster on PC, and you can find ways to get the games cheaper on PC. So, I don't know. Elden Rings might still be $70 right now on console. I can probably jump on Humble Bumble or G2A or something like that and end up and find it for $40 to $45. So when you look at it like that, if you own both consoles plus the yearly subscriptions, and then you kind of, if you have a digital version of the console, you're at the mercy of what they offer you at the store and nothing else. Whereas if you have the disc version of a game, you could probably save a few dollars because places like Target, Best Buy, and Walmart have games on sale. But still, you're still going to pay more over the long haul. So that being said, to get your foot through the door on PC is a little bit more, but but I think you'll save more money over the long haul. And not only that, the microtransactions aspect of it. There are games like Assetto Corsa, for instance. The mods that I was able to get for Assetto Corsa were free. Tracks, cars, they were free. And whereas on PlayStation or Xbox, I would have to pay microtransactions for extra cars and tracks. And then the other thing about the mods, especially like using Assetto Corsa as an example, if I get hold of a track and I want to race on that track with my friends, if they don't have that track, I can send the file of that track to them so they can put it in the folder of the game, and now they all have the track, and now we can all race on that particular track. Same thing with cars. Whereas a game like Gran Turismo 7, if there's a particular track, you know, when they I don't think that they'll charge. Dead Sox was good. GT7, I don't think they'll ever charge for tracks, because if they charge you for tracks, they'll separate the community, because not everybody's going to buy a track. You know, let's say Spa comes up. Let's say or Mount Panorama. Let's say that's not a standard track on GT7, and you have to pay like $10 to get that track. Not everybody's going to buy that track, because not everybody's going to like that track. And therefore, it's going to separate the community. But they may be specific cars. Let's say I open up let's say I start a private lobby on this game, and I say everybody's got to have one of these cars here, and let's say this car costs let's say it costs $5 million. It's going to end up costing you $60 in real life money to buy the credits to get this car. So please excuse my son. He's talking to all his friends on VR chat. And not everybody's going to want to buy that car, so I would have to loosen up the parameters of the room that I created. Whereas on Assetto Corsa, if we're racing on a particular track, and I say, hey, we all got to use this particular car, and some of them say, hey, I don't have that car, I can take the file to that car and send it to my friends. They can put it in the folder. Now they all have that car. Got retailers selling PS5 bundles for $850 and have to wait in line and sign up for their premium tier membership. Fuck out of here. Yeah, I've been hearing about that with Best Buy.
Okay. Well, I can't take that one seriously. I just can't.
You know, and that kind of shit that you just described right there, J-Wags, that's why I will not sell my PS5, because I know it would be hell for me to get another one.
No, it's not the name. It's the sound. Listen to the old
Kind of get a little bit distracted. But yeah, it would be tough to get another PS5 if I were to sell my PS5, and I don't want to get caught when PSVR 2 comes around. I don't want to get caught trying to get another PS5 and then I can't get one. So I think that's about it. Can't really think of anything else. I mean, I did this off the top of my head. I didn't script anything. But this will probably be one of those podcasts when I get done with it. I'll sit here and say, damn, I should have said this. I should have said that. But, oh, well, I mean, out my way, GameStop and Best Buy. PSVR 2 never be able to get my hands on. I think when PSVR 2 comes out, J-Wags, I think how hard it will be to get one of the headsets. I think it depends on two things. I think it's going to depend on how many headsets Sony has manufactured for the launch. That's going to be one factor. And I think the launch lineup that they have will be another factor. I think they're supposed to have 20 games at launch. And even if Resident Evil Village is going to be a launch game for PSVR 2, it's going to take more than Resident Evil Village and Horizon Call of the Mountain to get people to like say, hey, I got to get one of these headsets. Now, if it's rumored, if that rumor is true, that Modern Warfare 2 will get VR support, and if they give us VR support for Grand Theft Auto 5, like a lot of us believe they will, there's your blockbuster lineup right there. Horizon Call of the Mountain, Resident Evil Village, Grand Theft Auto, and just a Modern Warfare, and then this game, GT7. So that would be 5 blockbuster titles right there. If they had all 5 of those games at launch, I can see people breaking their necks to get one of these headsets. I think Call of the Mountain and those are great games. I think those are going to be great games, Call of the Mountain, Resident Evil Village. But I think it's going to take more than that to make people jump out of their socks. The people who were apprehensive about VR, I think it's going to take more than those 2 games to make them get out of their seat. I think, Gaming 50 was good. I think Modern Warfare, that would be the game changer right there. Modern Warfare and Grand Theft Auto would be the 2 games that I think would make people break their neck and say, I got to get one. Playing some Elden Ring? All right, cool. Sorry about that. I'm thirsty. Voice is getting a little bit raspy. So, what time is it? It is 9:17 Eastern Time. And so, I'm sorry that I wasn't clear with the title, because I meant to put podcast in here because I don't plan on racing. Again, because of the circumstances surrounding this game and lack of VR support and stuff like that, the only time I really get motivated to play this game is when the new daily race comes out. The way this game is structured, where you go into private lobbies and people are, putting nitrous on Honda Civics and stuff like that, and they're blowing the doors off of my GT3 race car, it just kind of just breaks the immersion. So, I think that's going to do it for me. Let me see. What else might I do? I don't know. I was thinking about buying Sifu on PC. The game retails for $40 on at the Epic Game Store, but I found it on G2A for $24. And it was a game that I was curious about, but hey, it wasn't VR, so it was a game that I didn't really see myself putting a lot of time in. Therefore, I didn't want to spend full price on it. So, but for $24, I think I just might grab it and go ahead and play it on PC. So, if I do that, I might possibly stream it. So I guess keep your eyes open for that if I should decide to do it. But don't, I don't want to send mixed messages either. This is still, in my opinion, primarily a VR sim racing channel. VR sim racing first, VR second, and then anything after that is just whenever I decide to throw it in. So, I guess that's about it, everybody. Thanks for watching. Really appreciate it. So yeah, just to finish it off, that's about it. I think Sony flat screen games are already moving towards PC, and I think the gap between when a game gets released on PS5 and when it actually makes it to PC, I think that window is going to start getting shorter over time. I don't know if they'll ever go day and date, but I think it's going to get shorter over time. And I think the same thing could conceivably happen with PSVR games. I think when again I've said at the beginning of the stream that when PSVR 2 comes out, I think the only advantage that PSVR 2 is going to give me over the current headsets that I have is that the headset has an HDR. That could be a game changer right there, to be able to see a game through a headset in 4K and HDR. Um, so yeah. So with that, folks, let me go ahead and get on out of here. Um, I feel like I jumped all over the place, so my apologies, because I was really thinking about that, because I'm starting the process right now. All the games that were on my PS4 Pro, I'm starting the process of buying those games on PC so I can put them on PC. You know, the Battlefield games, Star Wars Battlefront 2. Because those games on the PlayStation Pro, the majority of those games run at 30 frames per second. I want them at 60 plus frames per second. So yeah, I've begun the process of buying games that were on my PS4 Pro, buying them on PC. And so I think once I've transferred all those games to PC, then I might have to take a strong look at whether or not to sell my PS4. Because I'm not getting my PS4 Pro, because I'm not getting much use out of it. I mean, the only reason why I hung on to it in the first place was because of the PlayStation VR. So yeah, another little tidbit I threw in there just to stretch this podcast along. But yeah, I got all over the place. I think I hope I got my point across, even though it sounded like I jumped all over the place. But hey. But thanks for watching, everybody. I'm gonna go ahead and get on out of here, and then try to decide what I'm gonna do next in terms of what I'm gonna stream. I'm definitely gonna play something. I'm just trying to decide whether I would stream it or not. So I guess just be on the lookout. Till then, maybe tomorrow evening, I'll stream a low fuel motorsports race. We'll just have to take a look at and see what tracks, what the new daily races are, and then we'll do GT7, the new daily race on Monday. So anyway, now I'm going. Let me shut the fuck up. And thanks for watching, everybody. Until the next one, you guys know the line. Wakanda forever. Long live the king. And deuces. Catch y'all later. Thanks for watching. We'll see you on the next one.